WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Week 4 of the Collaborative Café, a podcast to help students like you navigate IAH 209 horror cinema with greater success. I'm Professor Schwartz, and in today's program, let's consider 5 reasons your learning team needs a Plan B in place as you work together to develop the upcoming collaborative project number 1. Come on in, pull up a chair after you've got a mug of your favorite hot beverage, and join me for a quick look at why contingency plans should be part of any collaborative endeavor. Ready? Here we go. First of all, let's clear the air by acknowledging the elephant in the room. An emergency Plan B might strike some of you as an unnecessary luxury that can safely be ignored. After all, you've got a lot to do in each of your courses and time is limited, right? But taking the time to develop a contingency plan with your teammates, even if you end up not needing it, encourages proactive thinking by your members. Developing what we might call a just-in-case scenario pushes you to engage in forethought and deeper, more strategic thinking about your work together. Your team must consider various what-if situations, identify potential points where your teamwork might go off the rails, and create viable alternatives. Working through this process often reveals weaknesses in your Plan A that you can improve upon. Next, taking the time to formulate a Plan B for your team's collaborative projects reduces anxiety and uncertainty. Having a backup plan is, in a way, a psychological safety net, allowing your learning team to pursue its goals with greater confidence. That security enables you to focus more energy on your primary goals rather than worrying about worst-case scenarios as your team moves through its brainstorming, creative, and later revision processes. Indeed, psychological research shows that perceived control, even through backup options, significantly reduces stress hormones and improves performance. The knowledge that your learning team has a viable alternative course of action in place, if things go awry with any aspect of your collaborative efforts, can help reduce the stress that some of us experience when working with a mix of different personalities. A third advantage of having a Plan B ready to go just in case is that the process behind developing such a contingency promotes intellectual agility and adaptability within your learning team. And even if your learning team never needs to fall back on it, a Plan B cultivates your capacity to be flexible and resilient. 2 related 21st century skills that are highly sought by hiring managers throughout the professional world. Think about it for a moment. Like a chess player anticipating several moves ahead, your team can learn to anticipate multiple scenarios, stay agile, and, to borrow a word that was used a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic, pivot should the need arise. That adaptability is a valuable skill that transfers across various life and career situations. Another important reason that your learning team needs a Plan B when it comes to your collaborative projects is that it improves team decision-making. Listen, when you have alternatives, you make choices from a position of strength rather than desperation. Consider the situation of a college or university student who examines several different course possibilities way ahead of an upcoming semester before narrowing their choices and actually registering for courses when the time comes. That person can better examine the focus and content of many possible courses, the better to determine how well each one meets university or major requirements. By thinking ahead and examining more than just one option, this proactive student will not be left only with courses that have open seats remaining. Taking the time instead to look at the bigger picture leads to more strategic, informed, and confident decisions. Welcome back, everyone. As a reminder, we've been looking into 5 reasons your learning team needs to have a Plan B in place for each of its 3 collaborative projects. Let's jump back into that discussion now and consider reason number 5 your learning team needs to have a Plan B in place. While it might not seem entirely necessary, taking the time to develop such a contingency plan enhances innovation by the members of your learning team. The very process of considering where things might go wrong and developing alternative approaches to call on, should your team need to do that, often leads to creative solutions that might actually be better than the original plan. Consider that many successful innovations started as backup plans. For instance, the familiar Post-it notes that many of us use each day without thinking about it were originally created when a scientist's attempt to develop a super strong adhesive resulted instead in one that was repositionable. That example illustrates how Plan B thinking can lead to unexpected breakthroughs when you least expect it. And in the unlikely event that a team setback or snag of some kind happens, a well-thought-out emergency plan can nevertheless take your team in unexpected directions, while at the same time enabling you to keep your project on the rails and moving forward. WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. If you find this podcast helpful, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. Before we wrap up today's program, let's quickly revisit the 5 reasons your learning team needs a Plan B in place for each of the 3 collaborative projects that are part of IAH 209 Horror Cinema. 1. Taking the time to develop an emergency plan encourages proactive thinking by the members of your learning team. 2. Formulating a Plan B for your team's collaborative projects reduces the potential for anxiety and uncertainty. 3. Developing such a contingency promotes intellectual agility and adaptability, key 21st century skills highly sought throughout the professional world. 4. Having a carefully developed Plan B enables your team to make decisions from a position of strength rather than more typical last-minute desperation. And 5, a carefully developed Plan B enhances innovation and can open up new possibilities. And that brings us to the end of today's program. Enable and empower yourself by joining me again in the Collaborative Café for additional tips, tricks, and advice based on my almost 30 years of collaboration with thousands of undergraduates at 3 Big Ten universities, 2 liberal arts schools, and 2 community colleges across the upper Midwest of the United States. In the meantime, thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in class, online, or during Zoom office hours if you drop by with a question. Until then, stay healthy, have a safe and a productive week. With special regards from Onyx, the cat what am. So long, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now. You've just heard a podcast from WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.